Women's soccer picked up their first victory of the season, and we're going to have a very special trivia segment with our Youngstown State student body. All that and much more coming up next on the Penguin Rundown. Welcome into the Penguin Rundown, everybody. Richie Giuliano back with you here today. It was a roller coaster weekend for Youngstown State Athletics as the Youngstown State football team had a very tough loss over the weekend in their first Mahoning Valley Football Conference play. But as we mentioned in the intro, Youngstown State women's soccer team, they picked up their first victory of the season in overtime. We're going to get things started with that football loss as the football team open up their Mahoning Valley Football Conference play with a brutal loss to the Western Illinois Leathernecks. In the 38-35 loss, there were plenty of positive takeaways, though, from the Penguins despite the defeat. Quarterback Demetra Crenshaw and running back Jaleel McLaughlin gave the Leathernecks defensive nightmares in that first half. The dynamic duo combined for 5 rushing touchdowns to give the Penguins an extensive 35-14 halftime lead. The defense held sturdy in the first half by holding Western Illinois to just 2 touchdowns, but began to fall apart during the third and fourth quarters. Jordan White and Grant Dixon were the stars of the defense as Dixon led with 6 tackles, including 1 for loss, while White had a key interception during a Leathernecks drive down the field late in that fourth quarter. The special teams even got involved as punter Nick DeSalvo delivered a booming 54-yard punt that landed out of bounds at the Leatherneck 1-yard line. The negatives, though, outweighed the positives as Western Illinois scored 24 unanswered points in the second half. Their quarterback Connor Sampson put up 4 touchdowns in the comeback, while a game-winning kick in the last seconds that crushed the Penguins' hopes of starting 1-0 in conference play. Instead, the Gwins dropped to 1-2 overall and are now 0-1 in the conference. Youngstown State will try to come back from this defeat and travel on the road as they head to Northern Iowa this Saturday. You can watch this game on ESPN Plus or on the radio on 570 WKBN. As for the women's tennis team, they returned from their season opener in Muncie, Indiana, as they competed in the Bethany Moore Invitational with some great performances. On Saturday, the Gwins were led by senior Cecilia Rosas and freshman Julia Marco, where they won 3 matches to earn the Flight Championship. And now we're going to send it over to the roundtable segment for lacrosse. Caleb and Kyle have more.
Thanks, guys. Here we are at Farmers National Bank Field inside the Covelli Sports Complex. Now, we talked about soccer last week, but we're going to be talking about that other team that shares this field, the youngest program here at YSU, the women's lacrosse team.
Yeah, and this women's lacrosse team, obviously, it's their second season, and this team is looking to compete. They were 2-7 last year, but they really play some stiff competition, and that competition was really hard on them, just being a new team, all freshmen. But I really think this team can step up this year.
Absolutely. Those freshmen are becoming sophomores now. It's a really young roster, but we still had some great standout performances from that spring season. And the first one I want to talk about is sophomore Erin Clark. She was outstanding. She leads the team in points with 23 of them. She leads with 7 assists, and she is tied for the team lead with 16 goals.
Honestly, you can't really say like amazing, and I think the list would be a lot longer if we just listed stuff that she was good at. I mean, there's nothing that she was bad at last year for this team. She was able to just do everything on this field for them, and she really stepped into that role and took it over, and I think she can even have a better season this year.
That's what we're hoping for. Now, we talked about she is tied for the team leads, and the person that she is tied with is sophomore Lauren Ottensmeyer. In 6 games, she was able to put up 16 goals. 2 times in the spring season, she had a 5-goal game, and she comes from a very athletic family. Both her brother and her sister also play collegiate athletics.
I mean, 5-goal games don't come around very often, and the fact that she had 2 of them just shows her goal-scoring ability. And honestly, she could probably take the lead this year, and I really hope that she could build on that last season, which I know that she's confident that she can do, and the team is very confident that she can do as well. She only played 2/3 of the games last season for this team, and the fact that she was able to tie was just crazy.
Talking about the sophomores, there is still a lot of young talent, and we're going to be talking about freshman Molly Sheridan. Now, fun fact between me and her, we both went to the same high school, Old Mill High School in Millersville, Maryland. And when you talk about Maryland, Maryland is just a powerhouse state when it comes to lacrosse. There's fall ball, summer league, spring programs. honestly, when it comes to just Maryland lacrosse, it's a big deal. So obviously having that background and that experience there is really important. And Molly Sheridan's a really great player too. She was the team MVP in her senior year, and she's also the career team leaders in ground balls.
Yeah, and because this team is so young, they're able to go out and look for pieces that they need to fit into this young team. And she will be able to help with the ground balls and really just step into this team and make a big difference and a big impact for this young team who's really looking to get hungry and get some wins, more than two. They're ready for this season.
Now, the lacrosse team is currently in their fall scrimmage season. They're facing off against some really tough programs, but the team's also focused on their spring goals. Now we're going to cut over to head coach Teresa Walton and some of the other players to hear what they have to say about the upcoming spring season.
We're just overall excited to have a good, healthy roster size. Being at 32 now, we can do practices like this where we get full field 12v12. We just keeping in mind through COVID. Our sophomores now lost their senior year in high school. Our first years lost their junior year in high school. So we just know that they need a ton of playing time together and be able to create and just have a good time out here right now, still through the fall.
I think this year the focus is with the new players to get that team chemistry going and really get playing together.
I think the biggest thing is with all the new players coming in, having that team chemistry and just more people on the field, getting everyone working together, and that'll just build for all of us on and off the field.
MAC championship, right away we're gunning for it. I think everyone in the MAC is extremely competitive. It's a great conference to be a part of, being a young conference overall, first year last year. And what our team knows is getting wins out of that talent pool right now. They know that we can continue to raise that bar for the spring and push for that tournament play in MAC.
Championship, that's all I can say, honestly.
I'd have to say a championship. We want a ring.
Now, we talked about how they are in that fall scrimmage program before the break, and they're facing off against some really tough programs. They're facing off against University of Cincinnati, Duquesne, Seton Hall. But I think this stiff competition could be good to kind of just get their feet wet, get some real experience out here on the field.
Everything they do from now on is just going to build more team chemistry. Last year, obviously all freshmen couldn't really build that chemistry. They had to learn it throughout as they were going. But now this team is ready and they are focused, and the chemistry is going to be amazing. And I'm really excited what they can do this year.
Absolutely. It's a young program, and the only way to go is up. And that's all the time we have here at Farmers National Bank Field. I've been Caleb Ellison.
I've been Kyle Phelps.
Now it's time to send it back to the studio.
Thanks, guys. Well, the women's soccer team played 2 games since the last rundown segment, where last Thursday the Penguins picked up their first win of the season against Detroit Mercy. It was a hard-fought match with YSU scoring first in the 59th minute, courtesy of freshman Erica Maliska's first career goal. However, the Titans would quickly score a goal of their own to tie the game and eventually send it to overtime with a score of 1-1. The Penguins were aggressive on offense, though, picking up 4 shots in OT, including the game-winning goal from junior Marcella Sizer. Her second goal of the season as the team traveled to face the Milwaukee Panthers on Sunday at Engelman Field. The Panthers made NCAA history by scoring a goal in the first 3 seconds of the game and then continued to push their offense with a final score of 7-0. Junior Regan Lavinia contributed 3 shots, but unfortunately none could find the back of the net. The team will return to action this Saturday at home, where they will face off against fellow Horizon League opponent, the UIC Flames. And we're going to stay with the soccer team. We have a special interview here from the studio with Brian Schrum and Marcella Sizer. Kyle Wills has more.
Thanks, Rich. I'm joined with 2 very special guests from the women's soccer team. I'm joined by junior forward Marcella Sizer and head coach Brian Schrum. Coach Marcella, thank you for joining me today. How are you guys doing?
Pleasure.
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. First off, I just want to congratulate you on your win last Thursday against Detroit Mercy. What was kind of your initial reaction to having that victory?
It's good to see the girls get that. A couple of ties we had, hard non-conference schedule, played on the road a lot, so it was good to see the enjoyment.
Marcella?
It was really nice to get our first win in the Horizon League after we have tied both games, so it was good to finally win one.
And Marcella, you had the game-winning goal in that game. Kind of walk me through that moment and your emotion that you felt following the goal.
Well, Regan worked really hard and got us a corner, and I had a good feeling about it, and Justine took the kick, and it got past a few of us, and then it somehow ended back up in the box, and Regan shot it, and I was like, I need to go follow her shot, and then it landed perfectly in front of me, and then I just put it in the back of the net, so it was a really good feeling.
And then going into that game, you guys had played in 3 previous overtime contests, so How does that experience this season affect your game in that overtime win?
Yeah, so actually during the Detroit Mercy game we were joking in overtime. We were like, oh, we got this. We've done it these past 2 games. Like, we can win this. We know how to play in overtime. We've been doing it the past 2 games. We got this.
Coach, what's your view on the overtime win?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just to keep going. And the motto that I've been teaching them over the years is just keep thinking the next action, and you play till the end. So 110 minutes, although we didn't have to go that far. It was good to see that.
And then looking ahead, you guys have Horizon League play until the end of the year. So how much motivation is added to the team knowing that your last 7 games are going to be in league play?
Well, I mean, that's the way it usually works itself out. We play our non-conference in the early stages, and then that prepares us to get into the conference. So we still got a lot of tough games, and you know, I think for us, it's never us in any type of shape or form being favored. We got to go in and just earn what we get.
What Coach said, how we have to earn what we get. With these last 7 games, we want to come out with wins in all of them, obviously, but we're going to work hard at practice, and it'll prepare us for these games. And
then with the win being your first of the year, does that light a spark underneath you to kind of play better for the rest of the year?
Yeah, like, we know we can win, and it just proved to everyone that we can win, and we can keep winning through this season and make it to the tournament in the Horizon League, and that's what we want. So,
Coach?
Yeah, I hope that's what they do.
Well, that'll wrap it up for the segment. Coach, Marcella, thank you for joining me. Let's send it back to you, Richie.
Thanks, Kyle. Well, the volleyball team fought through a tough weekend in the Beagley Center, hosting Horizon League opponents, Oakland and Cleveland State. Unfortunately, the team would fall short in both matches. On Friday, the Gwins battled the Oakland Golden Grizzlies, extending to extra points in the 3rd set, but were defeated 3-0. Leading the team offensively was freshman Paula Gershing with 13 kills and 4 aces, marking her 12th straight match in double-digit kills. Following Gershing offensively was junior Josie Borum, who notched 8 kills, while sophomore Lexi Beakey added 23 assists. Nearly all the starters contributed on the defensive end of the court, however. Julie Riley Seagroves led the Gwins with 16 digs, Borum with 12, Cleveley with 11, Gershing added 9, and Beakey ended with 8. Also, freshman Cheyenne Halady made an appearance as she assisted on all of YSU's 6 blocks. The volleyball team would regroup and prepare for their next match the following afternoon against the Cleveland State Vikings. Once again, the Gwins held a fight but came up less than 8 points short in all 3 sets in their 3 straight loss. The story of the match was junior Ellie Cox, as she earned a career-high 10 kills. While striking 10 of 25 attacks, she would lead the team with an outstanding .320 attacking percentage. Additionally, Beakey contributed 25 assists and 8 digs, while Seagroves put up 11 digs as well. The Gwins rallied several times throughout the match, but could not punch in the points they needed to finish the sets. The team is now 3-10 overall as they head into their busy schedule in the month of October. This weekend, Youngstown State will host 2 more Horizon League opponents, Purdue-Fort Wayne and IUPUI. First serve is set for 4 p.m. on Saturday and 2 p.m. on Sunday. Live updates and results can be seen on YSUsports.com, and you could also watch these matches on ESPN. And now it's time for our very special Man on the Street segment. We will send it over to Andrew Peterson and our entire crew.
Hello, welcome back to Penguin Rundown. I'm Andrew Peterson, and I'm here with...
My name is Daniel.
Your name, please?
Hunter.
Meredith.
What was the football team's record following the past shortened season? Is it A, 3-6, B, 5-5, C, 1-6, or D, 5-3? What do you think?
A.
A, 3-6?
Yeah.
I'm going to say A, which I believe is 3-6.
Listen, Angie, don't tell anybody I told you this, but it's 1-6. Answer C. We're pulling it back together this year, though.
Great answer.
Thank you.
You are right. Okay.
I know I'm right, Andrew. I'll get the rest of these as well.
Number 2. What is the name of YSU's mascot? Is it A, Pat, B, Pete, C, Perry, or D, Kevin? What would you think?
It's definitely Pete. I said hi to him earlier today. Pete the Penguin. P.
Pete.
It's unbelievable. I love this question. Pete, and bonus answer, Penny, his partner in crime.
Very good answer. You are correct. We didn't ask for Penny, but that's okay.
Okay.
3. What is the name of the fields the soccer team plays on? Is it A, Farmers National Bank, B, First Energy Stadium, C, Watts Field, or D, Penguin Park?
Farmers National Bank.
Watts. I'm gonna say Watts. Is that it? Phone a friend. I'm gonna say Watts. I think that was C. Watts.
Wattsfield?
You are wrong. The correct answer is A, Farmers National Bank. Okay, number 4. Who is the women's head basketball coach?
Oh, I don't know.
Is it A, Kyle Wills, B, John Calvin, C, John Barnes, or D, Thomas Harry?
C.
C, you are wrong. No, I'm just playing. You're right. You got that right.
I'm gonna say Thomas Harry. Confidently.
Confidently, you're wrong.
Confidently, I'm wrong. That's fine. As long as I'm confidently wrong.
It's not John Calvin. It's not John McElroy.
Correct.
Probably not the last one, so I'm going to go ahead and go with John Barnes.
Let's see. I think you're right. For real? You are correct.
That's cool. Keep it together. Keep it together. Keep it together.
Who is YSU's men's basketball all-time leading scorer? Is it A, Jeff Covington? Is it B, Joseph James? Is it C, John McElroy? Or is it D, Jonathan Sebastian?
C. John McElroy.
I actually don't remember what you said, so I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm going to act like I do and say B. Final answer.
John McElroy.
You are wrong. It was A, Jeff Covington. Thank you for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you for joining us today. We greatly appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
So you got 2 out of 5 right.
It's 2 more than I thought I'd get right, so I feel good about that.
Very good job. So thank you for answering these questions.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thanks, Andrew. Well, we talked to Marcella Sizer earlier in our interview, and now it's time to watch her play of the week as we send it over to Katie Rogers-Vidala.
Thanks, Richie. Now I know we talked a lot about soccer in this week's episode, but we had to choose junior Marcella Sizer's overtime winning goal for this week's play of the week. Let's take a look at it. Lavigna passes it off to Marcella, who, as we can see, nutmegs Detroit Mercy's goalie and makes the score. This slow-mo will show that she is onside, making her score legal, which led the Penguins 2-1, and they would go on to win in overtime in their first win of the year. Congratulations to Marcella, and good luck on the rest of your guys' season. Richie, we're going to send it back to you.
Here on the Penguin Rundown. To follow YSU Athletics, you could visit ysusports.com, or you could follow us on social media on Instagram and Twitter. That is at Penguin Rundown 1. Richie Giuliano saying so long. We will see you next week, Penguin Nation.